Hello, everybody, and welcome into Daytona International Speedway. Not quite on track yet because before we get started there, we got a couple of really notable drivers up here in the booth. Joining me is Ken McCall Jr., the 03 car, and Chad Ross in the 38 car to kick off FEG-PC Speedweeks. What better way than to talk to two of the best out here to do it? So first, I want to start with Ken McCall Jr. Ken, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, so glad to see you out here in Speedweek, Kens. We have stats up here for everyone to see it. You've been on iRacing for over 10 years, 10 grand plus in winnings, and you were the founder, one of the co-founders actually of McCall Motorsports in 2019. But the first question I want to start for you is, what got you started in money racing?
Just a big NASCAR fan in general. I grew up with it. Whole family enjoys it. Whole family should be tuning in tonight to watch us also.
All right, and another question we have here for you is, what made you start McCall Motorsports? I believe you did find it with Christopher McCall, and tell us more about the team.
Yeah, just about 4 years ago, there was a group of Jim Westerfield and John Mikowski and all. We got together and decided to form us a team, and it's went pretty good since then. Then got over here to this money racing and just carried it on over, and got a really good group of people with us now, and we've been learning from each other, and it's been a blast. A lot of good friendships.
It has been a certainly strong start to 2023 so far, McCall Motorsports. What is your ultimate goal, or the team's ultimate goal, either one, for Speed Week 2023 here at FEG?
At least get a couple teammates in the top five there, money positions. Maybe even try to get a top three or a top four. We've done it here a couple weeks in a row, so maybe we can continue that trend tonight.
Hopefully, it would be really exciting to see if potentially one of the McCall Motorsports driver or even yourself can come home and win all three races here this week. But thank you for joining us. We know you got to get out on track, so we will see you out there, bud.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck to Team 3 also.
All right, that was Ken McCall Jr., co-founder of McCall Motorsports. Now up in the booth, we have Chad Ross, the 38 car. Chad, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Well, Chad, just about as notable as Ken McCall Jr.'s iRacing career so far, you have also had 10 plus years on iRacing. You are currently in 10th place, the highest earning driver of 2023, and you founded Team 3 back in 2022. So I want to start you with the same question that I asked Ken McCall Jr., and that is, what got you started into money racing?
Really just Jeff putting them on. I mean, I've been on here doing, iRacing for like 10 years and was always playing, racing games growing up and stuff. But when he started doing the money racing, it sounded good to me. So we've been doing it ever since.
All right, and since you've started money racing, we noticed obviously that you started Team 3. What made you decide to get a team going, and tell us more about Team 3?
I didn't really start this thing. It just really sort of happened. I actually just jumped in, it was the Team 3 channel. Then there were some guys in here one night, and I hopped in and started BSing with them, and then turned out to be some good guys. And sometimes we would be in Team 2, sometimes we'd be in Team 4. But being an Earnhardt fan, I like us being Team 3. So uh, we kind of got into there and just racing with each other every week. And it's been a bunch of different guys that have been in and out over the last while. And it really wasn't until Jeff in his league last year started having actual teams and a team owner. I volunteered to just be the team owner for that, and but it's nothing really I started. It's all of us as a group that like racing with each other.
Good to hear. Good to hear that you were part of forming that team. I didn't realize that the name was based off the number 3, even though it seems pretty obvious. And the last question that we have here for you before we let you go is, what is either your goal or the team's goal here coming into Speed Weeks?
You to take all the money.
That does sound like the ultimate
Just do
goal
as best
indeed.
as we can.
That definitely does sound like the ultimate goal. I think you guys can do it, but you are going to have to fight against McCall Motorsports to get it. But we wish you best of luck going into it. We're going to let you go. I know you got to get on track, get with your team, get a little practice in before we get started.
Thanks for checking in. The opportunity to be on your broadcast. You've been doing a great job. And good luck to the McCullough team. And we're going to do what we can to beat them. It's just me and John tonight. So I don't know how many they got, more than 2. So we'll see what we can do against them.
All right, sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, You just heard from Chad Ross and Ken McCall Jr., two captains, leaders, if you will. They all work together so well, but those are pretty much the two main leaders of their respective teams. Ken McCall Jr. does work with his nephew, Christopher McCall Jr. They were the co-founders of that team. We're going to be watching both of those teams tonight. Before we get started, we got a couple things to set up. Qualifying just about to get underway here in a couple minutes. So we will be right back. Stick with us. And we are just setting up a couple things. Everything is working tonight in terms of overlay. However, with the big field, we may have to back out and reset our lobby just real quick so that everything runs smoothly in terms of that. Just figuring that out at the moment. And it looks like for the moment the game has locked up a little bit for me here. So just give me 1 sec. I'll let you know what we're going to do next to get in here before the race gets going. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I just wanted to think about it before I made the move. Just to make sure everything does stay right, nothing messes up during the broadcast, I'm going to go ahead and restart my computer real quick. To do that, I will end the stream just for about a minute or two, and we will be back live. Trying to see if it's gonna work the way I want. Either way, I will be back hopefully here. We'll get the stream back going. Stick with us. And welcome back, everybody. Here we are, Daytona International Speedway under the lights. Practice just finishing up. And the ARCA Menard Series drivers getting ready to go to kick off FEG-PC Speedweeks. Had a little bit of an issue there. We got it all set up now. Not used to having fields this big for my computer. Just had to get everything right. Make sure it stay nice and smooth. I do appreciate everybody getting back in here so quick. I hope I didn't trouble you all too much. Thankfully, we did not miss much. If you joined us for the pre-race show, you heard it from Chad Ross, leader of Team 3, and then Ken McCall Jr., co-leader of McCall Motorsports. Both of those teams going to be facing off tonight. Looks like Team 3 might be at a slight disadvantage. You heard Chad Ross say it is only him and one of his teammates and John Mullahan. That is not going to stop those two from trying absolutely humongous field tonight. I can't even count them all, but last time I heard it was 40 cars. But we're going to try our best to give everybody that we can a shout out tonight. I'll tell you what, there are going to be a lot of names, so we're going to try the best we can to say the last names right. Taking a look here at McCall Motorsports driver John Ward, the 92 car. Driver out of Georgia. A lot of promise coming into this week. Huge payouts. Over $7 grand worth of cash. You heard Chad say it himself. Go home with all the cash. That's the ultimate goal. Aaron Roth. Haven't seen Aaron around. I think he was saving up some money here to get himself into speed weeks. Here he is in the 30 car. Going to see if he can start it off right. 3 big races this week. We'll talk more about it throughout the night. This race is going to be the smallest payout of the 3. Tomorrow it gets bigger, and Friday is the biggest one of them all. And I don't know who you guys think is going to win tonight. I could put my money on just about anybody. A bunch of new drivers in the field mixed with a bunch of veterans. Nobody has put down a lap yet, so hard to gauge who looks like they have the most speed. ARCA car is a little different. Some of the rest of these cars, we'll see how they handle. They're going to run a bit faster than the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. These cars will be going about 200 strong in the draft. John Ward still getting up to speed before he's going to make his first lap. You see it on the top of the right on that track map right in the high lane. These cars don't get up to speed on that first lap like they do in the Xfinity and Truck Series. Takes 2 laps to get all the way up to speed in these cars, so you will ride that top lane around for not just the lap out of pit road, but that first warm-up lap as well. Second lap is when you usually finally drop down. John now going to hug the yellow line. We'll see what he can put down right here. Washes up just a little bit out of the tri-oval. That's what they'll do so they can get a bigger arc into the first turn. You see all the lap times finally being put down. It looks like Autumn Koger is going to top the board with a 49.7. That is absolutely flying. She's very happy with that time. Going to pull the car off. Driver out of Asheville. Another McCall Motorsports driver. You'll probably hear me saying that a lot tonight, but you know why? Aaron Roth currently sitting second. And it looks like Ken McCall Jr., who we talked to pre-race, now is going to take top spot on the board. One of the weaknesses that we saw from McCall Motorsports just a little bit is their qualifying. They are very strong in the race. Sometimes in qualifying they didn't have as much speed as they would like to. Taking a look now at John Mullahan. Nice looking 42 paint scheme. Only got one teammate in the field tonight. That's Chad Ross with him. With about a minute and 40 seconds here in qualifying. Looks like currently 23 of these drivers have put up a lap time. I don't know if there was any restrictions in terms of not being allowed to qualify if you were too high of an I rating. I did not think that was the case tonight. But with this many drivers, I think a lot of people are going to want to start at the back of the field. Just kind of feel it out. It is going to be very busy. A lot of chaos. You don't want to accidentally get in any trouble too early. Steven Scott Jr. 62 South Point. 5-hour energy car. And if we can, when this is all said and done, we might try to get a word with your pole sitter. This John Ward, another McCall Motorsports driver, does take it. And I think they are pretty much fielding their entire squad tonight. I do see Mark Vondell somewhere on the board. Doug Pierce working his way through the tri-oval. 45 seconds left to go in qualifying. If you are just joining in, we appreciate you being here. We got a lot of action over the next 2 nights. But before we can get to that action, we got to get through this race here at Daytona International Speedway under the lights in the ARCA Menard Series. You don't see these cars every day, do you? See if that affects any of the drivers not being used to them. These cars like to wash up. They almost feel a little bit heavier, if you will. Makes them a little bit more stable. You can push a bit harder in these cars than you can, though, in some of the Xfinity and Truck series. Doug Pierce puts his lap down. He's going to pull off some of these names that I'm seeing in the top 10. Very fast qualifying. Nicely done. One of those being Ambrose Knievel. Looks like Keith Todd. I believe that one might be Gabe Rogers there in 9th. And it surely is. That is going to wrap up qualifying. Before we can talk to anybody, we got such a massive grid tonight. That's what we're going to have to get to first. It will take us a while to get through it. We will give everybody a chance to get on the track, though, before we start that. Let's take a look at your race info, though. We are at Daytona International Speedway, giant 2.5-mile super speedway. Oval, huge banking in the turns, over 30 degrees worth of banking. We are under the lights. Wind not going to be a factor. Nice, cool track temp means good racing. Clear skies out. It's the FEG-PC ARCA 113. It's going to be 45 laps tonight. Actually, that math is a little bit off. But it is the ARCA Menard Series 45 lap race, 100% fuel, 1 fast repair. And a competition caution coming out on the start of lap 10. So the end of lap 9 is when the competition caution will come out, if that makes it easier for you. Let's get to tonight's starting grid. It is definitely going to take a while to read it all off. Starting first on the pole in the first race here at FEG-PC Speedweek 2023 is going to be John Ward, driver out of McCall Motorsports, making him look good early. Second is going to be Daryl Young. Third, Jeff Merck. Fourth, looks like that is going to be Sean Lizone. Fifth, John Mullihan. Sixth is going to be Chad Ross. Seventh, Christopher McCall. Eighth, Ambrose Knievel. Ninth, Gabe Rogers to his outside. Keith Todd, 11th, Aaron Roth. 12th, looks like it's going to be Tommy Withers. 13th is going to be Tony Cox. 14th, looks like it's going to be Briley White. 15th is going to be Craig Lewis. 16th, Bryant Newingham. 17th is going to be Chris Sommers. 18th, Cody Panel. 19th, Mike Toomer Jr. 20th, Danny Barnes. 21st, Jacob Harrell to his outside, Steven Scott Jr. 23rd, Donald Ray in the car on the outside of row 12, Ken McCall Jr. 25th, Doug Pierce to his outside, Autumn Koger. 27th, Mark Vondell, another McCall Motorsports driver. 28th, Jeremy Osborne. 29th, looks like it's going to be Justin K. 30th, it looks like Brandon Arcurio. Moving right along, 31st is going to be Derek Fulton. 32nd, looks like Andrew Fariniars. And he does have some teammates in the field tonight. We'll see if we see Landon Hendershot later in this grid. But 33rd is going to be Dylan Jones. 34th, Jason Maines. 35th, Daniel Everhart, the third winner of last night's race over at PGR. 36th, Kyler Wynn. If you see him in here, you know it's a big payout. 37th, Raymond Rittenard, the second. 38th, Ryan Panel. And rounding out the field for a 39-car field tonight is David Sheets, another McCall Motorsports driver. We are not going to be able to interview your pole sitter with only one warm-up lap. But it is John Ward, so we will give him that extra credit. He earned it. With as chaotic as this race might get, I think you want to be up front early with that competition caution coming out at the end of lap 9. Not sure the exact fuel range of these cars. Got to think it's around the trucks, maybe a little more. Don't know if they will. I wouldn't think they'd be able to make it all the way from that competition caution, but it would be really, really close, so they very well might. But I think cautions are going to play a bigger role tonight with this big of a field. You can almost bet we are going to see the big one. It's just a matter of time. Pace car, he's ready to go. Flagman, he's ready to go. He's got the green in hand. John Ward, Dale Young, rolling slowly into the Geico restart zone. They await the green. It's out. We're racing here at Daytona. Looks like Daryl Young gets a pretty good start in that outside line. I thought John Ward would run away with it right out of the box. Jeff Merck, no problem getting to the bumper, though, of John Ward. It's going to give him a nice push into turn 1. Everybody's getting up to speed right now. Take these cars about 3/4 of a lap to get all the way there. Working their way down the backstretch for the first time, side by side throughout pretty much the whole field. Nobody getting the momentum. Now the 33, Dale Young's got a huge run. Looks like he gets clear of the 92. We'll see what he decides to do with it. He is going to drop down low. It gives Daryl Young the lead. Take a little bit of a wider camera at this giant field. Crank it up is going to be a good one tonight. Inside lane going to be the place to be to avoid wrecks. Outside lane, they're probably going to show more speed. Grip comes up, speeds go up. Once we get to nighttime, these cars shouldn't have a problem handling. A lot of times we will see races at Talladega during the day. Being here at Daytona at night, going to make the back end of those cars a little bit more secure than usual. Still got to be careful pushing in the corners. But it looks like John Ward and Daryl Young starting to get a little gap. But now John Ward's going to pull back to the top side. Gives that 33 a run for his money. Can't quite get clear. Jeff Merck, good push on that inside. You see the 31. That's Christopher McCall on the outside. Third car back. Chad Ross behind him. Let's look a little bit farther back in this field. Show you the spotter view to see just how many cars we got on the track. Looks like we got a couple people towards the back right now. I'll tell you what, looking way back, David Sheets not currently on track. And Autumn Koger is currently a lap down, so she must have missed the start or something. She has her teammate, Ken McCall Jr., in the 8 car right in front of her. Not sure what happened to these two here early. Going a little farther up, though, we see Raymond Rittenauer II and Jason Maines. Those two definitely working together tonight. And they are sticking back right now as they don't want any part of the chaos they see up front. Daniel Eberhardt III, winner of last night's race. Derek Fulton. Haven't seen Derek in here in a couple races. Driver out of Ontario. Giving it a shot in the ARCA Menard Series. Kyler Wynn. Usually if Kyler's in here, that means it's a pretty full field. So if you are ever looking to get into a money race with a lot of people, you'll know where to look. About Keith Todd and the 54 ISMC driver. From what I heard last time from you guys in the chat, a couple of his teammates last time were Andrew and Landon. I did not notice Landon in here, but Andrew certainly is. Back up front, though, John Ward has reclaimed the lead from the 33 of Daryl Young. 24 on the outside. That's Sean Lazone. He has been keeping it up front on the outside line when he can. A lot of new drivers tonight. A lot of opportunity for someone new to get a win. And we're only 5 laps in, but I think it might get a little crazy later, so let's do a Wednesday night crank it up here at Daytona. And you saw it just as we were getting the crank it up segment. First caution of the night is out. This was not scheduled. We did have some guys spinning though. Let's go take a look at what happens here. Didn't get to see it. I saw someone, I thought, wash up into the wall. But I thought maybe it was just slight contact. Let's see where this gets started. You see there 3 wide. There was a 3 wide rule for the first couple laps. That was off. Kyler Wynn in the middle here. Not sure where this is going to start. Oh, it's going to start with the 54. That's Keith Todd. Oh no, looks like he gets punted from the back. That's the 29. Let's see if we can figure out exactly who this is. Just a couple. Looks like that is going to be Briley Wright. Yeah, just get into his bumper a little early right here. Play it real slow for you. Yeah, just gets to him before they get off the turn. Can't push in the corners. That car goes right around. Keith has just no chance to even try to save it. Spins down. Let's see who he collects. Looks like Kyler Wynn maybe just bumps him. Does a pretty good job initially. Collects a bunch of, wow, the 54 gets absolutely tagged in the back by the 72. Looks like that is going to break the suspension of that 72 car. Now we just got a bunch of guys spinning. Good job by most of these drivers as the 13 gets tagged there, but good job by the majority of the field actually getting through this. Usually when we see wrecks, a track with this many people, it'll collect the whole field. Didn't that time. But that is going to be a faster pair, I would think, for Keith Todd. Maybe a couple other drivers. You hate to see that early. And if they pit, they will still not be good on fuel, I don't think, from here. So it would kind of be the telltale stories. We see the 24, though, is going to come down pit road. That's Sean Lazone. Been leading this race. Decided to drop back. We did put a poll up earlier on if anybody thought that a driver would win all 3 races. Looks like the majority of you did say no. No surprise there, I guess. Crazy stuff happens here during speed weeks. Let's get an update on some of the drivers back here that we didn't see start the race. David Sheets still not in here. Must have had an internet issue of some sort. Ryan Panel currently the last car right now. Seeing the 12. He's got some damage. Daniel Eberhardt in the pits. But your current top 5 as they run is John Ward first, Darrell Young second, Jeff Merck third, John Mullahan fourth, and Christopher McCall rounding out the top 5. And it was some real nice racing action right there before we had that first caution. Kind of expected a little bit, everybody just getting crazy. Getting ready for some of these bigger races tomorrow night. I believe the payout is actually double of what it is tonight, and we can actually run over to double check that real quick. Feel like now's a good time to do it. And sure enough, you see it there, $1,600 worth of payouts tomorrow night. It's the second race of FEG-PC Speedweek, and it's going to be in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Green flag at the same time, 9:15 p.m. Eastern. With the field we had tonight, I think we will see a full payout tomorrow as we see tonight. See first place, 300, second, 250. Everyone in the top 8 is going home with $100. Heat 1 and Heat 2 winner also, actually looks like first and second from both heats is going to get $25. A lot of money going out tomorrow night. Hopefully we see another strong field. Let's go back live. They should be taking the 1 to go this time. And what strategy do you want to play right now? I think if I'm in this race, if I'm not up front in that top 5, maybe top 10, I think I'm trying to get out of this pack, drop all the way to the back. Not sure. I haven't heard any special word. If Jeff is in the chat, he will probably let us know if this will count as the competition caution or if we will go green for this 1-lap shootout before the competition caution. And we have a lot of viewers in here so far tonight. I can't thank you all enough for coming out. It means a lot. I know a lot of these drivers have a lot of fans watching back home. Makes them feel good to know you guys are all out here supporting them. If you like what you're seeing, please just give us a like. And if you're new here, follow. We do these a lot more often than you would think. Got one tomorrow. Don't miss out on it. I think we will see a lot of returning drivers in that one. Get some sold-out fields going. Keith Todd, who got the worst of that last wreck, is back out on track. Looks like he may have had to use that fast repair, unfortunately, though. So he is going to have to be extra careful till we get to the end of this race. I'm trying to look to see if I can see the left side where he really got tagged, but it looks like, yeah, real nice and clean. Now, it wouldn't be that clean without using a fast repair, I don't think. So Keith going to have to be extra careful for the rest of this race. Ken McCall Jr. going to be back there with him. Might be a driver to help him get to the front. Cody Panel, driver out of Good Hope, Georgia. Playing it conservative back here. Nice looking Ford Performance Mustang. We got Bryant Newmingham. Talked to Bryant before the race. First time meeting him out of Eugene, Oregon. If we were in the truck series, you would know it's him. He's got a nice looking Oregon paint scheme for the trucks. Looking to see if Bryant can have a good run. Let's go back up front because we are taking the green flag right here. John Ward's going to lead up to it. Pace car pulled off. Green flag's back out here at Daytona. Looks like a little bit more of an even restart this time. Darrell Young going to get some help really quick. That is John Mullahan in the 42. John all of a sudden falling back, though. That's going to put Jeff Merck and John Ward in position to try to pull away here for the moment. If competition caution is going to come out, it will come out at the end of this lap. If it doesn't, it means we already had it. Down the backstretch, no challenge for John Ward here. Everybody single filed out actually pretty quickly on this one. Didn't expect to see it that way. But that's how it's looking. You see finally the 31, Christopher McCall on the outside. Darrell Young, they're trying to get something going. Can't link up as quick. The runs don't seem to be quite as big in these cars, where they take longer to generate, if nothing else. And a couple guys are going to pit here. And this makes me think we are going to see a competition caution this time. That looked like John Mullahan and Chad Ross. They crossed the line. John Ward was leading, I think. It's pretty close between him and Christopher McCall. We'll see when the caution does come out. Might be around halfway through this lap. Let's go take a look at pit road, though. See John Mullahan and his only teammate tonight, Chad Ross. I think they're going to try to get some track position here if they pit now.
With the yellow
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. First yellow flag, well, second yellow flag rather, but the only competition caution of the night. Robbie Dixon in chat says, I'm excited for the Daytona 500 this year. Absolutely excited to see NASCAR come back. A lot of these guys are too. I heard such drivers telling they don't know what to do with themselves without NASCAR. These are the next best thing. It looks like the winner of the competition caution stint, though, is going to go to Christopher McCall. We'll let it sort out to make sure, but if that is indeed the case, we are going to go try to get an interview with him. Kind of interesting. Everybody's single filed out. Usually if we see a one-lap shootout, I thought we might have saw a couple people trying to get to the front in that one lap, but everybody pretty much single filed out. We saw a little bit of a run from that outside, so Christopher McCall could get it done right at the end, but maybe not quite how I was expecting it, if nonetheless. We're going to go see if we can find Christopher McCall, though, real quick. Trying to see if it doesn't. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we are going to run a quick ad so we can go find Christopher to get an interview from him. So we'll be right back again. Stay with us. We are back live at Daytona International Speedway, where we have found the winner of Stage 1, if you will, Christopher McCall. Chris, you got a copy?
I got you.
Well, you look real strong early. You got a teammate with you there in John Ward. You guys were both running up front right at the end of this. What's it going to take, though, to get the job done at the end and bring home the big money?
Well, it seems like we lost all our track position here now by winning that stage. But we just got to keep the fenders on it and keep taking every run we get.
All right, we talked to Ken earlier about how strong McCall Motorsports has been here at the start. Do you have anything to say about the team and how well you guys are going to perform here over speed weeks?
Yeah, we can put it on them, but these races are never easy. You got to make zero mistakes, and you got to capitalize on everybody else's mistakes.
All right, sounds good. Well, good luck for the rest of this race, bud, and we will hopefully see you at the end.
Thank you, sir.
That was your Stage 1 winner, Christopher McCall. We are going to hop out of here, so we're just going to intermission so we can let those guys get back to their chatters. Back live here at Daytona International Speedway. Let's pull the sound back up. Got to quiet it down so that everybody can hear the interview. Simple as a press of a button. Current top 5, though, they are taking the green this time. It's going to be Jeff Merck starting first. To his outside, it's going to be Aaron Roth. Third, Kyler Wynn. Fourth, Ambrose Kniebel. Ambrose making his way up here. Nicely done. The driver of the 04 and 5th is going to be Sean Lazone, who we've seen up here all night so far. Pace car is going to pull off. Jeff Merck's got the field all tight and ready to go.
Green flag,
We're back racing under the lights. Another pretty even start, but Kyler Wynn, really good pusher in that second row, has no issue getting right to the bumper. That 6 car, we see a little wiggle in the back, maybe a little bit of an early bump. And look at the field absolutely shuffle out. Take a look from the spotter view, actually the screenshot view rather. Down the backstretch, you'll get a good idea of just how massive this field is. Kyler Wynn takes the lead though, puts Jeff Merck to the outside. '24 goes back down low. Kyler Wynn leaves the 24, goes back up high. I think he might like the push-in from Jeff Merck. Those two know each other probably a little bit more than he does know Sean. Cars flying by at about 200 miles an hour. We can actually look at the dashboard. You'll see it pop up in the bottom right. We're about 190. When you get farther back, though, down the straight, some of these cars can approach speeds of 200. You saw it there for a second, 201. That was one of these drivers farther back in the pack getting a huge drop. Oh, we got one wrecking in the back. A couple of them wrecking hard here in the back. Huge hit by the 32. We got one upside down. 32 wrecking hard, still hasn't quite got it together. Third caution of the night. Second non-scheduled one. This one looks like it collects a couple more than the first one did. Tommy Withers, we saw him up on top of another car. Let's go back and see what brought out this caution. 15 laps in here. Couldn't tell where this initially started. Let's look from the spotter cam here. This might give us a good indication of it. Play it slow for you here. Oh, and actually this is way more up front. This looks like it starts with Chad Ross in the 38. Let's go find Chad here. That is not where I initially thought that was going to start. Ooh, and it's also going to involve the 5. All right, let's see here. We're going to play it real. Trying to find if we can get... Here we go. This ought to be a good view. Looks like this might be pushing in the corner. You see the 5. Yep, gets right to the 38. Gives him a huge shot in the corner. Again, we saw this on the last caution. Can't hit anyone in the corner. Spins Chad Ross right around. Nothing he could do. And here comes an on-rushing 42 car. That's Mike Toomer Jr. Had nowhere to go. That's going to put Chad Ross up in the air. And then a bunch of these guys sliding in. This is where the 32 is going to make some hard contact with a couple people. And then that's Tommy Withers. And then right here is the big hit. Gets him up off the ground. Almost gets up into the catch fence. 62 in it. The 29, we saw him almost get by it there, but can't quite do it. Yeah, 32 on the roof of the 36. Brandon Arcirio. 15th sneaking by on the apron. Nicely done. But you see Christopher McCall spinning there. Not sure if he got any damage from it. But let's ride on board here. Or actually, let's back it up before we ride on board. See if Chris got any damage. I think Chris might sneak by, but let's ride on board to see what we can tell. Oh, fortunately not. Almost got by it. Was doing a good job. Just got T-bone there on the right side. That's going to be a lot of damage. Might have to use a fast repair on that car as well. Let's go back up front live. Kyler Wynn is going to be your current leader. Second, Sean Lazone. This driver looking really, really good so far tonight. He has not left that top 5, and if he has, it has not been for long. Jeff Merck third. Fourth is going to be Jacob Harrell. And rounding out the top 5 at the moment is Aaron Roth. And Jacob is a new driver to make his way into the top 5, so we will give him a shout out. We said it earlier, but I want to say it again because you don't see it that often when we have this many new drivers. Sometimes it can cause some of these incidents that we were seeing right there. We will go take a look if we can find the 5 car. And it was indeed Donald Ray. Donald has been in here before, so he does have some experience. Just a little mistake like that can pile up so many drivers. You hate to see it, but not much that you can do about it after the fact. Remember, everybody does have a fast repair, so if you only get in one wreck, you're good to go. But once you get in that first wreck, if it's this early in the race, you got to be extra careful. Not the way you want to have to run your race. Kyler Wynn, though, has found his way to the front, and I don't think he plans on going back. It is important to know that all these drivers are now good on fuel. That is why some of them did not pit. Don't think it'll be an issue, as I think we will see some more cautions, knowing that cautions usually bring more cautions. But they are all good to go on fuel. The pace car lights are off. Means we are going green this time. We're about 5 laps, 4 to 5 laps away from halfway through this first event to kick off FEG-PC Speedweek. Great week of racing started here tonight with a 39 car field. With 39 cars, I believe we were going to have 40. You might as well say the payouts are what they are on the posters. First place going to be going home with a lot of cash. You actually saw it on the starting soon screen before we actually got started, but just in case you didn't, don't worry about it. We're going to read them back out to you. First place tonight going home with $250. Second, $200. Third, $100. And fourth and fifth going home with $50. It's a lot of cash. And if somehow, I know it seems a little conspicuous, but I think for any of these drivers, it's certainly a possibility. If somebody wins all 3 of these races, they are going to be absolutely set. That's a lot of money. Remember, over $7 grand. That would not go to one driver, of course. That is the total payout split. They could get themselves upwards of $1 grand, if not a little more. They could win all 3 of these. Daryl Young, one of the drivers in the field, says he's going to the front. We'll see if he can do it. Back here in 15th in the 33 car. We saw him up front early. Pace car pulls off. Kyler Wynn takes the green flag this time. He's got Sean Lazone to his outside. Restart's going to be the name of the game all night, especially once we get to the end, and they're so important. Field all working their way into turn 1, still side by side. This time that outside looks a little bit more organized than what we've seen. And that 18 is going to stick it to the bumper of Sean down the backstretch. We'll see if they can somehow get clear and get going. Outside, big momentum, not enough though. Jeff Merck did a really nice job keeping Kyler up front. That first lap is always the hardest to defend the run from the outside. Now they'll stall out a little bit. Daniel Eberhardt, you see the 4th car on the bottom. He's made his way up here. Behind him is Ambrose Kniebel. A couple drivers falling back. This pack getting a little bit more spread out than what we've seen most of the night. You see your track map. A lot of distance between all these different drivers, and we can actually go farther back. If you look at that tower on your left, the scoring tower on your screen, as it scrolls down, it will tell you once we see some of these drivers that are laps down. And currently we have 36 cars still on the lead lap. It looks like Mark Von Dell, McCall Motorsports driver, is currently 2 laps down. Tony Cox, we haven't talked really about tonight. Tony, I've seen him in here before. Pretty strong driver. Just not a great start to his night. Involved in a wreck earlier that did break his suspension. And that is really costing him right now. He is going to need a lot of help to get back up there. Mark Von Dell. Not the night he was hoping for. Trying to carry some momentum. Mike Toomer Jr., Steven Scott Jr., and then after that, the rest of these cars all back with the main pack. Let's go back to the battle up front, though, where Kyler Wynn and Sean Lazone have still been swapping places back and forth. We didn't get to do it last time. We had a caution. We were going to try it one more time. Daytona Speedweek, crank it up. Here we go. We are going to have to end it a little earlier because there's just too much action. You saw a couple drivers spin. The first one was just in the wall. Looked like he was fine, but John Mullihan actually went off track here in this 42 car. I think he may have hit the wall. Let's take a look here. Actually, wow, what a save from John Mullihan. I take it back. I thought maybe he got down there into the wall. He didn't. Boy, that might be the save of the week right there. I don't know if you're going to beat that one. I got to see it one more time. From the onboard. In the grass. How do you save it like that? He got a little help from the bus stop, but not much. That was impressive. You're riding on board here. Watch the hands of John Mullihan here. They are working hard to keep this thing straight. Here we go. And I don't know how he did it, ladies and gentlemen. That was something right there. Let's go back up front, though. Kyler Wynn still leading the inside. Sean Lazone still leading the outside. Thought by now one of these two would have cleared each other. The 11, Dylan Jones, has made his way up here. Right behind him is his teammate Daniel Everhart. If one of them decide to go 3 wide, they'll make a lot of ground. The 18 we saw get in the wall during that crank it up. Not sure how bad his damage was. I thought that might have been, I believe that was Jacob, who was in the top 5. Kind of just worked his way in there. Let's see. Here he is right now in this 18 car back. The 87 of Raymond Ritnar. 42 of John Mullihan in the 62. See if we can see the damage on this car. It would be on the right side, so we should see it right here. Yep, pretty banged up. Don't think it's a night ender. Don't even think it will affect him too much, especially in draft. These cars, a little interesting. Almost feel like a hybrid in terms of the damage model between the next gens and the trucks. Seems like it can be pretty easy to break the suspension on these cars. You hit the wall just good enough, destroys it. Doesn't usually happen like that in some of the other series, except for the next gens. We are over halfway tonight. We are approaching 20 laps to go. Action's going to start picking up. No more pit stops scheduled for tonight. And we have not seen any more 3-wide action so far. I think everybody kind of calmed down. Remember, you could go 3-wide here at Daytona. Not quite as easy as it is at Talladega, but certainly very doable, especially with the talent throughout this field. This is the best view in the house at the moment. Sean Lazone, Kyler Wynn, they're sharing that view. A couple lap cars up ahead, entering turn 3 now. Might play a little bit of a role. Always seems to be just a little bit sketchy. Going by lappers at times. The pack separating just a little bit. Looks like the Air Force car. I'm not sure who that is, so let's go see if we can. They hopped back in line. So many drivers tonight, it's a little different trying to figure out who all is who. And that might be, is it Derek Fulton? No, I cannot, I just can't tell. No, it doesn't look like it's Derek. It might be, it looks like, might be Justin K. Can't tell. Oh, we do have a car up in the wall, though. That's the 42. It's keeping it up there for the moment. That's Mike Toomer Jr. Finally gets it out. I think they were going by to lap him again. Sometimes you get sucked up into that wall. You just can't get out of it no matter how hard you try. Kyler Wynn not getting pushed as hard as he was earlier by Jeff Merck. That outside might start to prevail if they're not careful. Down the backstretch, still side by side. 18 laps to go here at Daytona. Who's going to win the first one under the lights? Oh, we got one spinning in the back. Not sure if they kept it together. We got another one in the wall now. Couple guys off track. Looked like it was Derek Fulton, actually. Let's go see what happens here. The 70. Big issues, and I think I know how this one's going to happen. He's going to get turned by somebody. Looks like it's the 22. See if we can see who the 22 is. It looks like, yeah, it's Chris Sommers. Oh, there was a sudden checkup. You saw it there. Chris not able to stop in time. Must not have saw it. Derek Fulton goes for a wild ride through the grass. Doesn't hit anything. I think he'll be okay, but he is going to need a caution to have a chance at it. If you need a paint scheme, that is your guy, ladies and gentlemen. You see it on the side of his car, Octo Wrap. He did a real nice job. Back live, though. Still no lead change at the moment. 2 cars trying to work the outside. That is Jason Maines. I think he will be able to draw some help from somebody. Justin K was making some moves earlier. Ooh, and it looks like Jason's got to be careful here. He's getting a draft off Mark Von Dell. Yeah, but he wants no part of it. You see, he actually tucks right back in line. Going to say he would have to check up pretty hard. Oh, now Mark Von Dell is in the wall. Going to keep it up there, but the sparks flying off the 59's right side. We have seen a lot of these lap cars getting in the wall, and I'll tell you what I think that is. But I'm going to hold that thought as Ken McCall Jr. and Autumn Koger teammates getting on the outside. McCall Motorsports finally ready to show their hand. Making a charge on that outside line. Daniel Eberhardt's going to jump up there with him. I think Daniel's going to try to check up, maybe see if he can get his teammate out with him. Not in time, though. Here comes the 90 on the outside line. 3x3 as they cross the line. 15 to go here at Daytona. 3x3 into turn 1. This is where it gets a little sketchy. Some of these guys on a little bit older tires. These cars really wiggling around. Just a slight bobble could pile up the field here. We're going to see some of these guys hop all the way out to the back. They don't want any part of it. But Dylan Jones, you heard it last night if you were watching. He said he likes to hide around in the back until when it matters. Then you will see him up here. You heard Daniel Eberhardt saying he is the best pusher that he has found. It's like Daryl Young, who we saw said he was going to make a charge to the front, is currently that 4th car on the outside line. Daniel Eberhardt can't quite get clear. Got to think if he does, he'll drop down to the middle. These cars can get hot pretty quick. You can push a little bit more aggressive, just not in the corner. If these start to go around, there's absolutely no saving them. Seen it a couple times tonight. Oh, we got another one in the wall. That looks like the 13. Able to save it. No issues. That is Craig Lewis. Falling back. Everybody checking up to avoid him. He should be okay if he can get it woed back up and in the draft. Daniel. Oh, we got a huge wreck up front. Oh, I missed this one by the yellow flag is out, and this collects the whole field. Huge wreck. Ambrose Kniebel's in it. The 7's in it. Bunch of these guys just starting to roll now. We were just taking a look back. The 13. And they are still wrecking back here. You can see it. That's the 92 of John Ward. We got another car flying around. 4th caution of the night with 13 to go. This is going to put a couple guys back in contention and take a couple more out of it. Let's see what happened. Already wrecked here, so we're going to, I think this may start with, I don't know if it's going to start with, but it looks like Ken McCall Jr., one of the first cars involved in it. Let's back this up. And let's take a chop review, actually. I think this might give us the best idea of what exactly went wrong here. Yeah, you see, so Ken McCall Jr., that 2nd car on the outside is pushing Daniel Eberhardt really hard. Let's see what happens here. 24. Oh, I'm going to need to back that up and take another look at it. That was really, really close. Real slowly here. It looks like the 8 and the 24 make contact. 8 slightly coming down. 24 is slightly coming up. They hook. Just like that. That's all it takes. And now the chaos is on. Ken McCall Jr. washes right back up in the middle of the field, and they just start absolutely piling up from there. This collects a bunch of them. They're wrecking more up front. The 20 up in the air. The 2 up in the air. Wow, look at that. 3 cars all stacked on each other. That is not the way you normally see them wrecking. Ambrose Kniebel slides up into Jeff Merck, who was having a good night. The 41, the 36. I mean, this had to collect about 15 to 20 cars total. 15 trying to get around the apron. There goes the 5 car. Some of these guys are junk. Jason Maines, see the hood flying off that car. And let's ride on board. Let me see who it exactly was. We saw a sandwich almost, and it looks like that is going to be the 20. Yeah, that is the 20. Right on board with him here. It's going to be Andrew, who had Keith Todd as his teammate in the field tonight. Those two were not able to find each other. They both had their fair share of incidents, nothing they could help, but got involved. Here we go. You're riding on board here with Andrew. And that had to be a pretty weird looking shot. Andrew knowing there's nothing he can do except let go of the wheel and wait for it to be over. Let's go back up front. Daniel Eberhard just escapes it. Autumn Koger. Second, third, Dylan Jones. Fourth, Sean Lazone. And rounding out the top 5, the man who said he'd make his way back up here, Daryl Young. Favorite NFL team is the Minnesota Vikings. You know that if you see his truck. If you are still watching, we thank you for being here. It's about to get real exciting as we are approaching 10 laps to go here at Daytona in the opening race for FEG-PC Speedweeks. It was in the ARCA Menard series tonight. Don't usually see it. Drivers have been putting on some good racing. We have only seen these couple little mistakes. Fortunately, when you get that bigger field, those little mistakes cause that much more bigger of a pileup. We do have someone in the chat saying Todd is the only ISMC driver today. Okay, so I do apologize. I thought him and Andrew were teammates, but I believe Landon Hendershot is another ISMC driver. He is not in here tonight. I heard he was spotting. 1 to go here. Pace car down the back stretch. We got a lot of people in here watching tonight. If you like what you're seeing, please hit that like button. It helps us out a lot. And if you're new here and you don't mind, go ahead and follow for us. We're trying to get Ghost Racing Network to 400 followers as soon as we can. Bryce said it the other night. He thinks we can do it in the next couple weeks. As long as we keep putting on the shows that we've been putting on. These drivers make it easy. And we still had a couple drivers that were actually out, not here right now. One of those being Ron Morris Jr. It's probably sad that he had to miss speed weeks nonetheless. But with 10 laps to go here, slowly you can feel the urgency picking up. We're going to see a lot more aggressive. The 3 wide rule should be off. It does go off with 10 laps to go. And if you are some of these drivers towards the back, you see it there how big this field is. It's time to go. It's about to get really aggressive. We're going to bring the fireworks to life. Green flag is back out. They're coming at you one more time at Daytona. Daniel Eberhard got a pretty good jump. Autumn Koger hoping that 24 will be her best friend right now and push her. Sean Lazone has had a strong night, hoping he can finish in the money. He certainly deserved it with the way he's raced tonight. We did hear an interview quote from Ken McCall Jr. a couple nights ago. He said it takes a lot of skill to get up here and have a chance at winning one of these things. But it takes a lot of luck sometimes to finish it off, and that holds so true at these plate tracks. Autumn Koger got a really big run, just couldn't quite clear the nose of the 90 of Daniel Eberhard. I think if she could, she would have dropped down. Ooh, the 24's got to be careful. Looks like he's trying to push in the corners. Can't do that. Sean, been a very good pusher all night. He knows that it's starting to pick up in intensity a little bit. Dylan Jones not going to let his teammate get past if he has anything to say about it. Further back, we'll pull up the track map one more time. You can see this field a little bit more tightened up now. Tony Cox, currently 3 laps down, but he is up here. Mark Von Dell, Tommy Withers, Mike Toomer, Jason Maines. Jason, one of the last cars, currently on the lead lap. Sitting back here with Ken McCall Jr. I think these two know what's coming. I think they think there will be a wreck, but Dylan Jones has found his way to the lead. Daniel Eberhard went high, and I think that might have been a block attempt. What does Autumn do? She sees a third lane coming. There's contact further back. We got one car in the wall. That's Jeff Merck. Everybody holds on to it for now. 8 laps to go. You can feel the intensity really ramping up. We got 3 wide up top. Dylan Jones leads the bottom. Daniel Eberhard leading the middle. But on the outside, here comes the 29. That's Briley Wright. We saw We saw him in a couple incidents, but here he is, fighting for a shot at the money. Remember, top 5 get paid. And you could put a blanket over those top 5 right now. Everybody's going to have to fight hard for that position. Kyler Wynn, 4th car back in the middle. Derek Fulton, he's recovered. The 70 up top. Got a couple new guys up here as well. The 12, Ryan Pannell. Pannell, rather, excuse me. And this might be related to Cody Pannell. Good to see a new driver up here. Either way, 7 to go. They're still holding pretty steady, 3 wide. Thought Autumn maybe would make a move to the top when she had the chance. Decided not to. She might be trapped here. All she can do now is hold on. Daryl Young has moved to the 2nd car on the inside in that 33. Dylan Jones is going to get a huge shot from him on the backstretch. The middle line starts to fade for the moment. Ooh, Kyler Wynn, a little bit of trouble. They got to be careful. You see him really wiggling out back. Looks like everyone keeps it together. Looking a little further back in this pack. And it's starting to tighten up more and more. Absolute mess. Don't think that they can make 4 wide work here. Haven't seen any shots at it yet. But if a couple more of these drivers get up here, we very well might. Chad Ross has made his way back up here. Had to use a faster pair early. Got involved in an incident none of us doing. Got turned. Kyler Wynn, nowhere to go right now. You see the 20, who is just up in the air between 2 cars. He's back up here. This is the magic of the faster pair. You go and you use it. You get yourself right back in contention. Racing's been phenomenal. I don't know if these guys can make 6 more laps, though. It is absolutely crazy right now. The 29 up top, showing some speed. Looks like Daryl Young maybe just clips the apron for a split second. I think those outside lines may be starting to feel it. Their engine temps are getting a little warm. The pushing has settled down a little bit in the middle. The outside, though, Chad Ross, Team 3, trying to get it done. His teammate, John Mullihan, 5th car back on the inside right now on the 42. Those two can't seem to find each other. We got one blinking in the middle. That looks like the 21. I believe that's Justin K. The 5's in the wall. Always got to be careful. He keeps it together. Oh, the 92 gets turned. That's going to be John Ward. Couldn't tell how far off he went. We'll take a quick look at it here before we miss much. This is after the spin. It looks like he keeps it together. Wow, nice piece of driving from the 92, wheeling it through the dirt. That's the 2nd brilliant save we've seen tonight. Oh, we just missed it. Caution is out. We got a big wreck. We just tried to take a quick look at it. A lot of guys in this one, too. Derek Fulton in it. The 39 spins down low. And I just wanted to look at the replay real quick. Couldn't quite get it in time. Let's go see what happened here. Brings out your 5th caution of the night. 3 wide in the tri-oval. Ooh, someone's already turned at this point. Let's look from the chopper view. Ooh, this might start with Derek Fulton in the 70. Watch this outside lane, Chad Ross. Oh, this might be a blow up. I'm going to have to watch this through cockpit view. That 38 slowed up in a hurry. Not sure why this would have happened. But before we can confirm it, let's listen here. Listen for his RPMs. Let's see if he blows it up. And this is the wrong person. Give me 1 second. Yeah, but you did hear it there on the outside. That would indeed be a blow up. Chad Ross, I think, pushing just a little too much. Oh, and sure enough, you hear the engine go right there. I don't think he would have accidentally downshifted. Almost could guarantee that's just a case he was getting too hot. You saw him back up right at the last second like he realized it was getting too hot, but it blew up either way. And when an incident like this happens in the middle of a pack, it is just absolute chaos. Nowhere to go for a lot of people. Let's slow it down here. You just can't check up in time when something like this happens. So you see Derek Fulton is going to get into the back of the 38. Spins him to the inside, which probably made it worse. Not that he could help it, of course, but gets down. 24 gets turned. They're net coding hard right now. And then they just start piling up behind. 21, Justin K. The 22 spins. 54, Keith Todd was trying to make his way back up here. He's going to get involved. Tri-oval is just nowhere to go. Look at this group piling in right in front of the grandstands, too. 39 actually gets kind of hooked on the roof of the 04 for a moment. Gets back down. But that collected a bunch of them. We will go back up front and see how this shakes it up. Looks like your current new leader is going to be Dylan Jones. No surprise to see him up here second. Daniel Eberhard, his teammate, third. It's going to be Briley Wright, fourth. Autumn Koger, and fifth, Daryl Young. Did a nice job making his way back up here as he told us he would. And I think if I'm Autumn, second car on this outside line, I really like my position. Because she is going to have the option to push or take it 3 wide. I think what she will do is try to push that second car of Daniel Eberhard clear. I don't think Daniel will drop down even if he gets clear, so she will probably have to take it 3 wide if she decides to go for the win. But they are going to have an overtime shootout. Who's going to come home with all the money? It's going to be a sprint to the finish. If you're just tuning in, we are about to have a 2-lap shootout to decide it under the lights on a Wednesday night. It's the FEG-PC Speedweek opener in the ARCA Menard series. Tomorrow we will be in the Xfinity series. Bigger payout, hopefully bigger field, as if this one wasn't big enough. Proud of everyone that was able to come out either on the track or in the broadcast. Whoever wins tonight, going to give themselves some momentum, see if they can get a shot at winning the next 2. I think that one on Friday, though, is what all these drivers have their eye on. Put it in perspective, we had a 39-car field tonight. This was a $700 payout race. The one on Friday is a $4,800 payout race. That is a lot of money, and I think we're going to see a lot of drivers as the pace car lights go off. We got a lot of cars still exiting the pits. A lot of guys tore up. Pace car working his way through turn 2. Dylan Jones, Daniel Eberhard. I think those two kind of said, I don't think those two are going anywhere. The question becomes who makes the 3 wide move first. But I think some of these guys farther back. Let's see where Ken McCall is. I thought maybe he was up here. Never mind, he is not up here as far as I thought. John Mullihan, though, had that great save earlier, and that contributes to where he is now. Kyler Wynn looks like he's got some damage in that 82 car. That thing may not be too fast out front. Shouldn't have a problem in the draft, though. But it is going to be a 2-lap shootout. If you don't know the rules, remember, we are going to take the green here. If they wreck and get a caution on that first lap, we will rack them up and do it again. If we make it to the white flag lap, then the next flag will end it, whether it be the caution or the checkered. Usually iRacing won't throw the caution on the last lap. Shouldn't have to worry about it. Green flag is back out. Can Dylan Jones get the job done? 2 to go here at Daytona. Daniel Eberhard gets about a dead even restart. I think these two are going to try to keep these two lines in check. How long can they do it for? Already see a couple guys shuffling 3 wide further back. It looks like it is Kyler Wynn. Jeff Merck going to dart to the top. Kyler Wynn going to try to dispose of him before he makes the move. A lot of shuffling right now. Got to be careful. Ooh, Kyler Wynn gives the 12 a little bump. Jeff Merck on the top. Nowhere to go up front. It's still Dylan Jones and Daniel Eberhard. Autumn Koger not making any move yet. The 29 trapped on the bottom now. She goes up high with Jeff Merck. Daniel Eberhard throws the blocks. Got to be careful. Autumn now dives back down low into the middle line. Jeff Merck by himself still hasn't got any help. He gets a side draft off the 26. At a turn 4, we are coming to the white flag this time. Still a lot of shuffling around in the back. The 6, Jeff Merck now is going to get some help from Jason Maines. What does Daniel Eberhard decide to do right here? Does he block? Does he stay low? See, Autumn Koger got just a little bit of a bump. No issue there into turn 1. The outside, still no run just yet. Think Kyler Wynn might be thinking about going up top. Stays in the middle for now. Down the backstretch for the final time. Jeff Merck still nowhere to go. Has no help. Holding strong on the outside, but it's all Dylan Jones and Daniel Eberhard out front for now. into turn 3. No move yet. Jason Maines now has made his way back to the bumper of that 6 car. They're going to make one last push at it. We got a couple wrecking out back. They're wrecking hard out back. It doesn't matter up front. Now the 33 spins to the line. It's going to be a drag race. It looks like it's going to go to Dylan Jones in the 11 car. He wins at Daytona. We got a huge wreck out back, but Dylan Jones gets the job done in the first race here at Speedweeks. Came home 3rd last night. Gets himself the win tonight. And boy, I think that bottom lane got it as they just had the most help. The top kind of fell apart after a wreck, and these two teammates, they're going to have some fun right here as they got a 1-2 finish. How about that for Dylan Jones and Daniel Eberhardt? Dylan's going to do his slide through the grass. And we will go try to get an interview with these three. Dylan going to burn it down. Let's take a look at the results before we do that. This was a big field. It's going to take us a minute to read through it, but we'll leave it up just in case you miss any of it. First place, you saw him get it done at the line. Let me fix it for everybody. This is showing qualifying results if you're wondering why it shows John Ward first. Dylan Jones brings home the victory. First race in Speedweek. Second, his teammate Daniel Eberhardt. Third is going to go to Autumn Koger. Fourth, Briley Wright. Fifth, John Mullahan. Sixth, Kyler Wynn. Important to note, John Mullahan was the last money spot. Seventh, Sean Lazone. Eighth, Ken McCall Jr. Ninth, Ambrose Kniebel. 10th, Jeff Merck. 11th, Daryl Young. 12th, Justin K. 13th, Derek Fulton. 14th, Steven Scott Jr. 15th, Ryan Pannell. 16th, Jason D. Maines. 17th, Jacob Harrell. 18th, Mike Toomer Jr. 19th is going to go to Tommy Withers. Rounding out the top 20 is Bryant Newingham. 21st, Gabe Rogers. 22nd, Doug Pierce. 23rd, Keith Todd. 24th is going to go to Brandon. 25th, Raymond Rittenard. The second, 26th, Donald Ray. 27th, Jeremy Osborne. 28th, Chris Sommers. 29th, Danny Barnes. 30th, Christopher McCall. 31st, Cody Pannell. 32nd is going to go to Andrew. 33rd, John Ward. 34th, Craig Lewis. 35th, Chad Ross. 36th, Mark Von Dell. 37th, Tony Cox. 38th, Aaron Roth. And rounding out the field, who did not actually start the race, is David Sheets. It was a huge field tonight. That was a mouthful. I hope everybody was able to get all that. We will leave it up, and we are going to go try to get an interview with your top three, so we will be right back. Stay with us. All right, and I am here with third place finisher Autumn Koger. Autumn, you got a copy?
I got a copy, Austin.
Well, there was a couple times there I thought you were going to have a chance at the win. Looks like you couldn't quite make the move. Daniel did a pretty good job. It looked like blocking you held the charge off. Either way, a third place finish. Good way to start off Speed Weeks. How'd you get it done tonight?
Man, Kenny Kenny got up there. He messed up a little bit, but he helped me up there. Just sit in the right place, right time. Almost got involved at that wreck coming into the line, but that's called luck. Congratulations to Dylan and Daniel, first and second. Thank you, Ghost Racing Network.
All right, good to hear. And before we let you go, though, Autumn, was there anyone else specifically that you wanted to thank or shout out?
Well, I would say the one thing I usually say, but I can't say it right now. So, Austin, if you want to say it for me, but Austin, praise God and thank Him and His faithfulness.
All right, that is your third place finisher tonight, Autumn Koger. I'm not sure if we got Daniel in here just yet. He was your second place finisher. Daniel, you got a copy? And let's see if we can pull him in here real quick. He may still be sitting in the waiting room. And it looks like he's not. He is just not in here. So we're going to pull in Dylan Jones, I guess. And he was your race winner. Dylan, can you still hear me okay, bud?
Yeah, I had to get on my phone. My computer blue screened.
All right. Well, you got the win tonight in the first race of FEG-PC Speedweek. How's it feel?
I would say it feels pretty good. I'm happy. So we got it done out there. So that was the goal, right?
Well, you told us the other night you like to stay back till when it matters, and then we see you up front. We saw the same thing again tonight. I almost wonder how you keep doing it. But either way, you did it. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thank you, Austin, at the Ghost Racing Network for putting on the broadcast. I'll definitely have to watch this one now. Jeff and all the drivers out there for the great racing.
All right, thank you. That is your race winner of race one. We'll see if he can sweep all three. It would certainly be a pretty cool thing to do. That's Dylan Jones. We will see. We'll check just one more time to see if Daniel Eberhardt got in here. And it looks like he did not, unfortunately, so we are not going to be able to get an interview from the driver of the 90 car. But we did get to hear from his teammate and the winner of the race. Those two work really good together. Chemistry very high, and you see why. Usually Dylan is the pusher. Tonight, though, he got the job done, got the win. Let's take a look back at this finish, though, before everybody does leave, as it was a still pretty close one. Not as close as we have seen in recent past, but that is certainly a pretty good way to start off Speed Week. We will look back here at the checkered flag. Hide this for everybody. Let's see what happens here. You see them all wrecking out back, and this is where it's going to get important. So let's back it up just a little bit. When they all start wrecking, the secondary wreck, it takes out a lot of the help from this middle and top lines. Didn't take the help away, though, from Dylan Jones, so we'll watch it from spotter view. We'll run it real slow for you here. Oh, it looks like the 12 coming down the track. It's going to make contact with Daryl Young. They both slide up. A couple hard hits. Jeff Merck gets involved. Outside just squeaks by. And they were 3x3. Autumn Koger just makes it through. So does Daniel Eberhardt. But the inside was the only lane that still had a bunch of cars in it. And it was that close at the line by just under a car length. The race for second was even closer than that. Do want to remind everybody one more time that we will continue our coverage here tomorrow in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It will also be at Daytona International Speedway Green Flag at 9:15. Hoping to have just as good of a field, but this time it's going to be a bigger payout. Thank you to everybody who came out tonight. It was one of the biggest streams that I have seen in a while. We had, I believe, 45, 46 people live watching here at one point. It means a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you tomorrow.